Hello, hello, welcome back to Weather for Weather Geeks. It's the Mahoning and Shenango Valley's most in-depth weather forecast video. We are almost done with the month of October. And a little quick schedule announcement here. Speaking of the end of October, this will be the last Weather for Weather Geeks in the month of October. I've got some time off starting Tuesday evening, so this will be the only long video I do this week. We'll return early next week with more in-depth weather forecast videos as we roll into the month of November. And here on the 28th day of October, what a day. Bright sunshine, not a cloud in the sky. Temperatures mid-60s. What an improvement over yesterday. Yesterday was certainly a November preview with chilly temperatures, gusty winds. We had the overnight rain that thankfully got out of the way in time for the Youngstown Marathon yesterday morning, but it was a blustery one today. Much, much better. 5 years ago, we had a high of 77. Record low on today's date, 25, back in 1976. So that was a, kind of an overview of today's numbers. One item of note here before we move on to weather, let's talk a little astronomy. We actually have a very close flyby tonight and early tomorrow morning of an asteroid. Now, this is going to get so close that actually it'll be closer to Earth than the distance between the Earth and the Moon. But there's no danger from this. This is not hitting the Earth. Unfortunately, it's not something that we can view here on Earth. It's too small. But this is something that is interesting because it is passing so close. But close but no cigar. No imminent threat from this. It's just going to be notable because of its very close proximity. All right, back here at home today, again, cloud-free. So it's a good day to look at the what we call the MODIS satellite. That's a low-orbiting satellite that gives us great views, high-resolution views of our region on a day like this. I'm going to compare a couple of shots here. This is today's shot showing a fair amount of sediment being rustled up lately on Lake Erie, partly because of the strong winds that we had over the last couple of days. Now compare this. This was today, and this was about 12 days ago. Notice Lake Erie was a lot cleaner looking about 12 days ago. Also, as I rock this back and forth, notice, if you look carefully, here's today, here's about 12 days ago. Notice how the fall foliage continues to show up on this satellite picture. Definitely more golden and brown and yellow hues to the landscape across northern Ohio and northwest PA. I would say that we're now technically past peak for our foliage as a result of the wind and the rain that we had over the weekend. Still some pretty nice colors out there, but I kind of suspect in most places we had our technical peak a couple of days ago, and a lot more leaves are going to come down later this week. And we'll talk about that forecast in just a moment. Cold air is on the move slowly this evening. The nation's kind of divided in half. We have unseasonable warmth out here, and we have unseasonably cold weather out here. The battle zone is right in the middle of the country. It's going to stay that way until the tail end of the week, and then finally this cold air will push east. It'll win the battle in a modified fashion, but a big change nonetheless. And over the last 24 hours, 16 degrees colder in Phoenix, 24 is the number in Albuquerque, 18 in Dallas, and 14 degrees colder than this same time yesterday in St. Louis. Now, another nice day coming up on Tuesday. I think it's going to be cloudier than today, but these will be fair weather clouds. It may look a little ominous towards the end of the afternoon, but I think we're in good shape. It's certainly going to be another mild day with a southwesterly breeze. Temperatures similar to today, perhaps even a degree or two warmer. But in the wake of this initial frontal passage on Wednesday is not quite as warm. It'll certainly be an overcast looking day. And towards the end of the day Wednesday, and especially into Wednesday night, I think there'll be what we call some overrunning going on, where we have this shallow, cooler air mass in the lower levels, but over top of that air mass is a warmer, more moisture-laden air mass coming north, and that's going to cause some rain to break out, I think, for Wednesday night, and certainly into the day on Thursday. This is the Halloween outlook, and it's not looking great. Now, it's not going to be a cold day. This is not going to be the kind of Halloween evening where the kids need to wear the winter jackets. There's no threat of snow, certainly. But even though we're firmly in the warm sector here, showers off and on throughout the day into the evening. I can't even rule out a late-day thunderstorm, and the wind will start to become a story towards the end of the day, and especially into Friday. Computer modeling looking like this. There's a little bit of a spread now between the Euro and the GFS. The Euro in the drier camp, the GFS, including the GFS ensemble model, closer to 1.5 inches worth of rain. I'm going to kind of split the middle at this point. So, I'll probably have about 1 inch worth of rain coming our way Wednesday night, heading into Thursday, and even into parts of Thursday night. Now, graphically, I'm not going to show you the Friday outlook. I'll talk a little bit more about that on social media, certainly over the next 24 hours. I touched on it on Sunday quite a bit. I do think that Friday, temperatures hardly move. We're in the lower 40s, and showers most likely in the morning. I'm not going to be surprised if mixed in with the raindrops Friday morning, maybe a little grapple, A little ice pellet action, maybe even a few snow pellets mixed in with the raindrops. It's a low chance, but it's a non-zero chance that someone sees their first snowflakes of the year mixed in with the raindrops Friday morning. In the meantime, yeah, here's the trick-or-treat forecast for Thursday evening. It's just not going to be real great outside. Temperatures upper 50s, lower 60s. Pretty good chance of showers, and I can't even rule out a late afternoon thunderstorm coming up on Thursday. All right, it's one of the least favorite weekends of the year for many who are not a fan of the time change, whether it be in the spring or the fall. Daylight saving time ends this weekend, Saturday night into Sunday morning at 2 a.m. The clocks will back up. Pick up an extra hour sleep unless you're an overnight worker or have some reason to be up at that hour. If you're asleep, you're going to get an extra hour of sleep. That's nice. But unfortunately, what this means is, of course, it gets dark awfully early, starting Sunday evening. New sunset at 5:16 Sunday evening. The sunrise is, of course, an hour earlier. This week is our stretch of latest sunrises of the entire year, even later than in the dead of winter. The sunrise is not far from 8 o'clock in the morning in the week leading up to the end of daylight saving time. So yeah, less and less daylight, big time in the evening, starting on Sunday. It's also, as a reminder, a good reminder to check your batteries in your carbon monoxide detectors and smoke detectors. Even though they may have batteries that are only 6 months old, it's a good idea to take this opportunity to check them anyway. That is important. Longer range. Lots of chill on the weather map, I think, during early November. This is the 6 to 10 day outlook taking us through the first handful of days of November. But I'll tell you, I think this pattern has some legs. Let's quickly look at the long-range European model here. It's Monday evening, so we get a fresh batch of long-range modeling from the European Prediction Center. And you know, you see a lot of blues and purples and greens on the map here, and I've rolled this forward all the way into the second week of November. It seems pretty likely that at least the first 10 days, if not the first 2 weeks of November, will feature more chilly weather compared to average than mild weather compared to average. And that would be a change from the month of October, and well, just about every month of 2019. So we'll see if this comes to fruition, but this has a fair amount of support from the other modeling that at least the first 10 days, if not the first 2 weeks of November, will be pretty chilly. Now, the European is advertising a different looking pattern second half of the month with more above average temperatures on the playing field starting around mid-month and taking us through Thanksgiving. Lower confidence that that is the right idea, but it is what it is showing at this point. So we'll have more updates on the November outlook over the next handful of days and into next week. And don't forget, we're a week and a half away from my annual winter forecast on Thursday, the 7th day of November. You'll see a long video online, sort of similar to Weather for Weather Geeks, except longer, more detailed, and focused strictly on the winter forecast. If you are more of a reader, we'll do a blog post. And if you would like the short video version, of course, that'll be online as well, but you can watch that live on 21 News at 6 and 11 on Thursday, November the 7th. All right, have a great rest of your Monday night, and look for a fresh update from me, of course, coming up in a few hours on 21 News at 11 p.m.